And many of you have been flogging those messages on our social network pages. We're very much grateful. Please keep that ongoing for the next 2.5 hours, and we'll be very much grateful to also get interactive back. Now we have to look at what the stories are on the front pages, and we know today is about fraud, but also keep supporting the Black Stars because they play this evening.
Yeah, and here's the Daily Graphic newspaper. Today's Stars Bafana in Crunchy Decider. That sounds like some biscuit, but it's serious as Samoa Jan and Dean Firma, the captain of Bafana, making the front page in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Also, ex-Greta Boss, 5 others arrested by security operatives, and Suba, the biggest fight against SIM box fraud. And it has, okay, so the man that has got everybody talking really is Dr. Alexander Cheneboa, and he features with the 5 alleged fraudsters at the CID headquarters. This picture was taken. They make the front page of the paper today. I mean, I'm asking a lot of questions because people say, some people still can't believe that it's the same man, really. Because they knew him in a different light. They never thought he could be associated with this. But then again, let's be a bit cautious because they are suspected. It doesn't mean that they are guilty of the offense. But something that's got all of us worried, which is also a headline on the front page of the Daily Graphic, is prepare for intensified load shedding. Gridco is saying, so what exactly do they mean by that? That story is on page 16. So a bit of that for you in the paper. It says that power consumers have to get their loins for an intensified load shedding regime because of a generation shortfall of more than 500 megawatts. Here's a quote by the manager of the System Control Center at Gridco, Mr. Frank Autry. In an interview with the Daily Graphic, he said that, and this is a quote, the new timetable will probably tighten the schedule a little more than the current one. So I guess this is what he said that is getting all of us a bit worried what's going to happen. The unending load shedding exercise has deepened over the past weeks because of a generation shortfall of more than 500 megawatts, and the shortfall represents almost a third of the entire 2,000 megawatts of power needed for distribution. We'll tell you a bit more about this particular situation, but back page, Stars Bafana in Crunchy Decider. You can read a bit more on that. But that's it for the Daily Graphic, Roland.
Okay, so we have on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, 6 busted over SIM box fraud through Suba Info Solutions and CID collaboration. And we also have Ketra granted bail in police recruitment. Markets restricted to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and ECOWAS won't accept coups in sub-region. On the back page, it is the Black Stars who are in a master break situation today as they play their counterpart from South Africa, the Bafana of South Africa. We have Madagascar referee for big match, and down there we have DR Congo, Tunisia landing quarterfinals.
Okay, let me do the Chronicle now. Front page of the Chronicle. Sack Afuteabo. Apollonia clans tell Mahama. What exactly has he done? You can read the details. Also, Caged or CAGD has no balls and quote to withstand minister. That's according to Imani. It comes with a picture of Franklin Kujo on the front page of the paper right there. Also, Apia admits initial Ghana shock. Oh, what exactly did he say? Back page. Let's see. Where's the story? It said back page, right? Apia admits initial Ghana shock. See story on center pages. Okay, all right. Paper is saying that the new Ghana striker, Kwesi Appiah, sounded like our former coach. That's why I was so interested in the in the story. But apparently, it's the Kwesi Appiah guy who is part of. I hear he can't even speak any local language, and his name is Kwesi Appiah. Interesting. Okay, so he says that
his video dancing.
He struggled. Yeah.
He's a very good dancer.
With the tempo of the team when he first joined. Oh, okay. So you can read about, what is shocking him being part of the Black Stars team in the paper. Let's see if there's any. Okay, so still ex-Greta Boss arrested for some box fraud. Mahama cannot stop the doom. Okay, here's a piece written by Ebo Kwanzaa. You might want to read it in the paper. But back page, Mourinho hails Didier Drogba and good boy Balotelli staying put, says Rogers. And you know when they say good boy, they don't really mean good boy. Van Persie unhappy with form. You can read the details of the sports stories on the back page of the Chronicle. That's it, Roland.
Front page of the Daily Guide has a story. Greta Boss arrested over $33 million inbox fraud, and we know that it's a collaboration.
Was he smiling? Like he's got like some of the pictures, like he's smiling. Like
the point
I don't know.
that I think there was something that was ongoing. These captured photos were in the spur of the moment, so it's not as if he was posing for the camera. You get it? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a collaboration. Suba, we have NCA as well as the CID head office, the police headquarters, and we have up there. We nabbed in diplomatic vehicle.
These guys, they've got serious guts.
You have Haruna, Ahmed, and Castro Akuto. How come the police? Okay, Apollonia family accuses minister. Let me just read the story. It's fascinating because I know you're not supposed to search the CV cars, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering. It says 2 men are currently in the grips of the Volta Regional Police Command for attempting to use a fake diplomatic vehicle to convey suspected Indian hemp. Okay, so they had these vehicles, CD number plates.
This is like a British diplomatic number plate,
CD.
you know? These guys are wild.
Yeah, they've got guts. Okay, back page, Janot Fitz.
Huh?
Who's
reporting?
Goes gay.
Is it a reporter? Make sure they don't drag you from their campo. They'll sack you.
They say Mongomo goes gay. But please know, Mongomo is just the city. It's not Mongomo is not a person. Can't personify it to go gay. Okay, and Hearts will win league, and Nyantichi confident in Black Stars. So those are the stories we have on the front
I think
page.
the Hearts winning the league. They should hold on for a little while.
Hearts?
The week,
I think, yes.
the league just started.
really
The fact
started.
that you've won 1 or 2 games.
I think Kotoko will win the league again.
Okay, I just said that they should keep it.
Now I'm also predicting.
Let me do the Finder. Front page of the Finder, alleged looting at Central Medical Stores. Gang of 11 exposed. This is big. Also, battle for control of HFC Bank deepens, and Suba equipment bust Simford Kimpins, and customer satisfaction is our priority. You've got to figure out what bank or which bank is saying that. But that's it for the Finder in terms of the headlines making the front page.
Front page of the last paper we're looking at, the Daily Heritage, has the story. German, okay, let me say German. German trip, please. The pronunciation is German.
German. But the way they put the thing, if you say German trip, I mean, it won't be. German trip, not fashion show.
German trip, not fashion show. General Mosquito replies critics. Pratt calls for heads to roll as state protocol. And apparently the General Secretary of the ruling NDC was wearing not a unisex fur coat, but was wearing women's coat.
No, but he thought it was unisex. That's what he said. But what's the big deal, really?
I like his sense of fashion, though. There's another photo on social media in which he's wearing the normal kaftan with Timberland boots. Like, let's go.
But listen, that's the man's style.
Yeah.
And he hasn't shied away from it. I mean, he's told us his motivation for wearing what he wore. And that's it. I mean, I respect him for that.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
No, I like him. I like him more for that.
And he's defending it. No. And a government communicator said we should even be thankful he didn't use state money to buy fair.
No. I mean that's like the below the belt argument that people are making. I think it doesn't even come anywhere close.
Right. So we have boy 3 dying slowly after drinking caustic soda. Family appeals for help. That is why you have to be cautious around children. Okay. So that'll be it.
That'll be it. Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be it for the newspapers. Next, we're going to have our guests in the studio for AM Talk, and Kwabna Bonfair is with the CPP, and also we have. Kamaldeen Abdullahi of the MPP. He's the National Nasara coordinator of the party.
Roland, there was a story I wanted to read. Oh, let me just read a bit of it. Let me look for it. You know about the boycotts, the general secretaries? Somebody's been talking.
Okay. Kamaldeen? He's been talking?
It's in the Daily Graphic. This is page 17. General secretaries boycotts emotionally incompetent, says Dr. Amwakuba. But I think the bit that is of another interest.
He's criticizing them.
Yes, he is. And he says, and that's where he's referring to it as, you know, emotionally incompetent, their action. But here is the PPP representative, Asamoah Siao, also saying, and this is quote, yeah? Okay. The three general secretaries are Dr. Kwabena Agyapong of the NPP, Mr. Ivor Greenstreet of the CPP, and Mr. Asamoah Siao of the PPP. Where's the bit, Roland? The PPP representative conceded in an interview with the Daily Graphic that his party was the loser in the boycott as it lost the opportunity to put the party's case across. And he said left to the PPP, the program should have gone ahead, but the decision had already been taken for the program to be called off.
You know the big boys, like the NPP, they can always call the bluff, right?
Yeah, no, but as for me, this one, and let me share it because this is what I have thought. This is what I think. If it was about, who brought Dumso and the NDC General Secretary was reacting to some accusation that the NPP, you know, was throwing, then this would be, you know, like a big deal. Why was the NDC not present? But this is not that too.
So you're thinking they should have gone ahead?
This is a very important subject that does not necessarily
need only the General Secretary to be there.
The NDC General Secretary. And I say this not to, you know, all NPP members, but to particularly the General Secretary of the NPP. When you went to court after the elections,
led the boycotts on Saturday.
No, I mean, let me finish. When you went to court after the elections, when you were challenging the results, were you on the same side with the NDC or you were on opposing side? So that if you're given a platform, because these are election reforms we're talking about. These are the same things that you went to court, you know, challenging and saying that things were not right and that kind of thing. So if an opportunity is given...
Is it not appropriate that if all the parties are coming to discuss reforms, then appropriately the ruling party should have its topmost representative in equal measure as the other parties will have it?
Okay.
So that,
very good question,
so that also to send that message to the audience who may be watching and listening that there's some level of congruence or consensus in what we're talking about as far as the reforms are concerned.
Okay, so Roland, now, you got two. I don't want to take your. I don't want to take your top time. Now the third point
is if you have an array of general secretaries and a party, the ruling party sends its deputy general secretary, perhaps it smacks of some level of complacency and disrespect to the other general.
Does it mean that, listen, does it mean that you should also not carry your point across?
Well, you can carry your point across, but we're talking about consensus building.
No, wait, hang on.
And for political party activity, you need consensus building.
Would this be the first time
you can't tell me that the words of the Deputy General Secretary will hold a lot more sway like the words of the General Secretary himself?
Roland, I'm eating into your time. But here's the thing.
Right. I think my time is up.
You've got Kamaldeen
Abdullahi.
Yeah, and you've got Kwabena Bonfe coming. If Kwabena decides not to come this morning, what would you do?
I'll replace him.
No, wait, hang on. What will Kamaldeen say? Because Kwabena decided not to come, even though I'm here, I'm leaving.
But it's not the same. You can't equate.
It is the same. Gee, how many times haven't we, you know, decided? We've arranged for an interview, even with a minister, and they've called it off the last minute. I can read messages on my phone to you. 5:30, 6 a.m. and then they tell you something just came up. Should we say that, okay, because we arranged an interview with a minister on a very important matter and the minister is not showing up, so we don't have any AM show? Hello? I think, you know, I'm disappointed. Let me not talk more. I'm really, really disappointed.
All right. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're going to have Kamaldeen Abdullahi in the studio alongside Kwabena Bonfe of the CPP. Please stay on. We'll be right back.